Okay. Good evening. Welcome to the Thursday, November 6th, 2025 special voting meeting. We're going to start the meeting out with a flag salute and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Dr. Baldino,
I am here.
Mr. Cannon,
Here.
Mr. Elling,
Present.
Mr. Johnson,
Here.
Mr. Knopf, Ms. Lynch,
Here.
Mr. Scaff,
Here.
Ms. Smith. Here. 7 conversion visit.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next up is hearing of visitors. Do we have anybody signed up? No, we don't. Okay. Well, then let's move on to the reason for this special voting meeting. We recently had interviews for candidates for Region 3. Unfortunately, after we had those interviews, we realized that the mailing districts do not actually line up with the township or the municipal districts. And the one individual is no longer eligible. So with that, we actually have one person that is eligible at this point. Okay. So can I get
I move that we accept Mr. Rodriguez as the, and appoint Mr. Rodriguez as the representative from whatever district that is.
Region 3?
I second it. I
Okay,
second it.
all right, we have a motion and a second. You want any discussion on this? Okay,
Yes, I feel really happy that we had such great candidates.
okay,
So thank you.
thank you, yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna do this the easy way. All those in favor of Mr. Rodriguez signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? All right, ayes have it. Mr. Rodriguez is now appointed as the Region 3 representative effective today, November 6th. Okay, with that being said, we're going to adjourn this meeting and we're going to go right into our regular work session. Okay, we've already had call to order, moment of silence, all that good stuff. I will make an announcement that today we had an executive session from 5:30 to 6:16 dealing with legal and personnel issues. And with that, next up, we have Central Mountain High School, our representative. Welcome back, Kat.
Thank you. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here representing CMHS Student Government and providing the board with our monthly update. Student Government is very excited to take part in State Senator Chris Dush's Senator for a Day, where 9 students will have mock experiences debating legislation. Fall sports are now at an end, and we are proud to announce that our boys soccer team, girls volleyball, cross country, and some of our female tennis players made the playoffs. We are ecstatic at how well all of our fall athletes performed this year. With the fall sports wrapped up, The opening for the Drama Club's fall production of The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe is drawing closer. As a representative and vice president of the Drama Club, we'd like to invite you to our performances. Our production runs November 14th, 15th, and 16th. We would be deeply honored if you're able to attend a performance of our show. The first marking period came to a close last week. From our perspective, this was the best start to the school year that we can remember. We hope that will continue the rest of the year. We also look forward to our winter sports season getting underway. As the year goes on, the student government is happy to report that the atmosphere of the high school has been very positive. There have been a few student altercations, but nowhere near the previous years. We feel that things have been running very smoothly, minus dismissal at the end of the day. We would also like to thank Dr. Redmond and Mr. Varelli for their continued presence in our building. Seeing him lets us know that administration is truly involved in the learning process. Thank you for the opportunity to attend these meetings alongside the policy, finance, curriculum, and calendar meetings. To Mr. Elling, Mrs. Smith, and Mr. Knopf, we want to thank you for the countless hours that you gave from your private life to work for the betterment of Keystone Central School District and all the students, faculty, and staff over the years. Your dedication to us and the work that you have done cannot be measured. It's been a pleasure and honor to work with all of you. As we transition to a new board in December, we look forward to continued cooperation in our work to strive in making Keystone Central School District the best that it can be. Thank you.
Thank you, Kat. Appreciate it. Yes, Elizabeth?
Oh, Pat, sorry. Do you think you'll still be able to come to our committee meetings with your schedule and everything?
Oh, yes.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Okay, next up for Central Mountain Middle School, we have Levi Nace.
Hello, Keystone Central School Board. My name is Levi Nace and I am from Central Mountain Middle School. I am here as a student government representative from CMMS. I would like to start off saying that our school recently raised over $4,000 for Minithon, and we are still collecting money from the Walk, Run, and Ride for PBIS. That is due Friday. Next, on October 29th, we had our Q1 reward and recognition rally. Students got recognized by their teachers for Wildcat of the Month and Leader of the Pack. They also got certificates from their hard work. Also, 7 faculty and 8 students were nominated for Q1 recognition of those who radiate joy, bring sense of happiness, and a can-do attitude in almost any situation. Students earned the Q1 reward by paying 25 PBIS points and having good behavior. Currently, we are working on asking students what they would like to see changed and help make those changes if reasonable and possible. Upcoming, we have parent-teacher conferences being held on November 13th. Thank you for your time and have a good night.
Thank you, Levi. Appreciate it. Very good job. All right. Next up, hearing of visitors. Do we have anybody signed up? No? Okay. Moving on, superintendent's report. Dr. Redmond?
I have a lot of good things to talk about. The first is, of course, we know that we are in a budget impasse with our state legislature. We're well past 100 days now. The good news, if you can call it good news, is that both sides of the aisle in both chambers are meeting with the governor's office. And as I understand it, what's being reported to me is that we're very close. It's just a few little details that have to get worked out. We were hopeful to see something this week. We're hoping to see something by today. It didn't happen. So maybe by tomorrow or sometime middle of week next week, then we'll see some positive results from our state budget. As I mentioned in a previous memo, and I think last month, we had the America 250 PA group come up and work with our elementary schools. We had groups in every one of our elementary schools doing presentations and working in classrooms. It was a really great event. We have tons of pictures for it. We need to get those online. But it was a cool event. I was able to see some of what was going on in Liberty Curtin and Mill Hall Elementary. Kids were really engaged. The speakers were having fun with the students. I think it was a great learning experience. We've seen a lot of enthusiasm recently, especially around our Halloween parades for our elementary schools. We got some good feedback from the community. We know that the elementary PTOs and schools put a lot of energy and effort into them. They looked really good. There were some good pictures in the paper about it. I think it went really well. Next week, of course, as you know, is Veterans Day in our schools. We already had some schools doing a Veterans Day assembly. Those are going to continue into next week. As we hear about them, we're putting them on the district calendar. So if you look at the district calendar, you can see what's going on in different schools. You're welcome to attend, of course. If you'd like to, just let me know and we can make sure that you're expected at the school. In a couple of weeks, our Bucktail Heiner Paton crew is headed down to Harrisburg to speak on the movement to change our state fossil to the Heiner Paton. There's a couple of bills in both chambers, one bill in each chamber that we hope will cause the state fossil to be changed from the trilobite, which of course is kind of ubiquitous. Everybody has one of those, not very exciting, to the Heiner Paton, which of course, as I've mentioned before, is only found right here in Keystone Central School District. And in fact, in Red Hill up in Renova is the only place in the world where you can find it. I think it'd be really cool to have a state fossil that came right from our community. This week also, we had National Honor Society inductions in our schools. Also, it's a great honor for those students who are doing so well to be recognized and be part of that group. So thank you to the students for their effort, for the staff to support them, and the parents for helping them achieve that high honor. Thank you to our student representatives for talking about a bunch of the things that I was going to talk about to make my thing a little bit shorter. Thank you. On your table, you will see this handout. Sorry about the board members who are not here. It is attached to the agenda, but this is a report from our Keystone Central Career and Technical Education Center about dual enrollment. So a couple of things to point out. This is from last year. Students earned 635 students through our dual enrollment, 635 credits through our dual enrollment program, saving almost $400,000 for parents, so they don't have to pay for that when their kids go on to post-secondary education. I think a really, really nice thing is that bar graph that you see in the corner, where 99% of our students who attended or participated in dual enrollment passed their classes.
Yeah.
So our students are participating in higher education and they're doing very well with it. So congratulations to the students and of course to the support that they received through our CTC and our regular academic courses. On the chart there, it breaks it down specifically how many students in each one of our dual enrollment program classes. A question that I have for the board, this is not something that you can vote on, but I'm looking for consensus at this point, and that is the new board member orientation. I have proposed a couple of days. We have 4 new board members. We now have Mr. Rodriguez, who's here with us today, who just received the appointment in our earlier special session. Thank you for being here. We need to work through a board orientation for all our new incoming 4 board members. We have a couple of choices. We can try to get it done before the reconfiguration day, which is in the first week of December. There are some pros and cons to that, which I think I've mentioned, and then we could also wait to do it after. According to our board policy, there are some things that we have to provide to the new board members before the first meeting, such as the board policy manual, administration regulation manual, budget statement, audit report, other fiscal materials, and district information on comprehensive planning, curriculum, assessments, facilities planning, and district programs. And so we just have to make sure we provide at least that much. My recommendation is we wait until after committees are set and then do a larger full day experience for our new board members to really kind of understand all of the details about being on the board. And so I leave it up to the board whether you want me to try to conduct that between tonight and the reconfiguration meeting in the first week of December, or if you want me to wait till after that. I'm just looking for consensus, not an official vote for tonight, and any input would be welcome.
Dr. Baldino?
I think a definite maybe. You know. No, I mean, we obviously, the three of us that came on new last year got absolutely nothing until Frank got here and organized it. So we stumbled our way through somehow. So I don't think it's absolutely necessary that it's done before they take their seats, but I think that as soon as possible would be a good idea. What, what do you think, for scheduling? What do you think is going to be reasonable? How early can you get something scheduled?
Well, we have, the administration has been working pretty hard on creating about a 6-hour day of things, and we can pull that together pretty much at any time. It's largely dependent on the work and time schedules of the new board members.
Yeah. Because I guess what our first meeting, I think, well, the new term starts December the 1st. I think our first meeting is the 4th.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's our voting session. Actually, we only have a single session.
It's two.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, is that right? Okay, I didn't
Yeah, we
realize
only have a
that.
single
Yeah.
session in December. That's the
So
reconfiguration voting meeting.
if it works for their schedules, could you do something on the 6th of December?
6th of December is a Saturday.
I thought that's what you wanted to do, wasn't it? Or, I'm sorry, did I misunderstand you?
Well, I said sometime after that first meeting, so
Okay.
we kind of have to look at
Yeah,
everybody's
okay,
schedule.
yeah.
So what you're suggesting is sometimes after the first
Yeah.
meeting, but shortly thereafter.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, that. How about, what do you think, Elizabeth?
I'd like to hear from Tom.
Okay.
Can they speak?
Tom, what do you think?
Well, I think we probably ought to just wait till after that. I mean, that's what I think. We should just wait till after that meeting.
Okay,
So,
Chris?
I think we need to wait till after the candidates are sworn in. And you gotta remember, we still have one individual that we have to wait till the votes are certified on because it's such a close race. So I think that
Okay,
it's best if we wait till they're sworn in so we know who's coming.
okay,
Elizabeth, you have anything to say?
go ahead.
I definitely feel that it should wait until after they're sworn in. And then the board administration can decide with them what's a good time, maybe break it up into different topics, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, that part we
That's-
already have worked out. So it's based on some things that
Sure.
Dr. Baldino and I have went to a session on.
But I also feel that if those individuals, before they're sworn in, if, they have the freedom to contact any of us or you. So they have that freedom to do that. And there's so much information online also. So I definitely feel though, that after they're sworn in and then the board can decide collectively how they would like to proceed and when and what topics.
Okay, Dr. Redmond, I think that gives you your direction. The consensus is after the December reorganization meeting.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, next up.
Mr. President,
Yes,
point
sir.
of order, please.
Yeah.
I don't know, since we weren't anticipating Mr. Rodriguez, we thought he wasn't going to be able to get here tonight, and we thank you for being here. If he's submitted his required forms, there's no reason he can't be sworn in and take part in this meeting.
We do not have all of the forms required yet.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Manny, you understand, you got to get that in. It's simple. I don't know if you've looked at it yet. Take you 10 minutes.
I did glance over, I actually started it, but that was.
It's okay.
Sort of waves.
It's all good.
Yeah.
We know how it goes.
All right, but we
So-
can't legally give you the oath until you submit that. Okay?
Thank you.
And thanks for being here.
Yeah, it was unexpected.
You don't have to stand. You can
Okay.
come over and sit down if you want.
There you go.
Just,
All right. That it?
Yes.
That was it.
Okay, all right. Let's move on to the committee reports. First off, personnel.
Personnel met on October 24th to discuss staffing and personnel issues.
Okay, thank you. Next up, safety, Chris?
We had an executive meeting and went over some confidential security things, and then we went to a public meeting afterwards. And we had a letter from one mother concerning safety with transportation and the fact that she has written a few multiple emails and not heard a response. And we had a second mother that was there to discuss what she felt was some security and safety issues, and she was present at the meeting. And she also had issues with, she felt that she had written emails and made phone calls and not gotten anything in a response either. And Dr. Zangara is going to look into all those issues, and I've not heard from him as to what he's found out.
Okay. Thank you. Next up, Finance Committee.
On October 28th, we attempted to have a meeting. We did not have a quorum, so we continued as an informational meeting. Ms. McIntyre presented several things which are outlined in the minutes. We talked about the interest that's being earned. It was mentioned that because of the situation with our highly efficient state government, we're not going to roll the CDs over because we might need that money. So we'll do something with that later if we can. Johnny, you want me to talk about the Tran, or do you want to say something about it? Whichever you want. Okay, I got it here. I'm sorry, I didn't want to blindside you. Well,
Yeah, it's actually on the agenda.
yeah,
though.
that's true. It's coming on. Anyway, the point is that Joni there's a way that we can borrow some money until the state comes across.
Okay.
And it sounds, as I understood it, it sounds pretty good. It's like a credit line. So we're only paying an interest on what we actually use. And, it looked like at the time of the Finance Committee, it looked like First National was going to be a winner. They weren't going to charge us a fee. She was did you check, were we able to check with the lawyers about the things you were concerned about? And you'll talk about that later? Yeah, good. Then we talked about insurance, and of course, as expected, our premiums are going up, but really they're only going up about 10%. And when you consider we added the insurance for the new Liberty Curtain building onto the bill, that is not that big a hit. The other thing we talked about was the new forms, new software, the Tyler Tech, and when we get to it, Joni would like an opinion on whether right now she's got on the forms the percentage of the budget that's used and we've used already, and the percentage that's remaining. It questioned about whether that's going to be a little confusing, and should we go with one, the other, or should we continue with both? So everybody that's here is going to have to speak up and let us know let Joni know what you want us to do. Nice first day with my new math. What you want Joni to do.
Okay.
And that was it. 28-minute meeting, kinds of like.
All right, let's move on. Facility Committee.
Okay, Facility Committee met on the 28th of October, and we discussed several items at that time. First thing we talked about was our favorite topic, sewer systems and sewer lines, and Now it's Bald Eagle Township's turn to complain about us. So they sent a letter and said that this building, they're finding objects in the sewer line that are collecting in their collection basin or basket or whatever they call it. And it's causing their crew to have to go and collect or clean these out fairly frequently. I guess every 1 to 2 weeks they have to be in there. And so obviously this is creating more work for their crew. And so what they are asking us or suggesting that we do is one of the things that they suggested that we install a collection system on the sewer line that we would take care of, or I guess some type of a septic system or whatever. Obviously, that would be very expensive to do. Right now, we are paying approximately a little under $1,000, I think, for the sewer fees every month. And we felt as a committee that it was, we'd asked them, well, how much of a fee would the increase in fee would it be for have them to continue to do this for the extra man hours? And they have not yet responded with that, but we felt that it would obviously be much more economical to pay the additional fee than install another collection system. So that is still, we're still waiting to hear on that. Mr. Hoy also brought to our attention, which is an ongoing problem with his need for manpower. He has several positions, custodial maintenance positions that are going unfilled, and we just can't fill them because of the wages that we're offering. It's difficult whenever somebody can work at Sheetz or Walmart and make more money than they can in one of these positions. So I think, we obviously, I think it has been a discussion point in the past. We are on probably on the lower end of what we're paying in comparison to the other school districts around in the area, as far as what we're paying our maintenance and our custodial folks. So I'm not sure what the answer is to if we would decide to increase the hourly wage. We would have to, of course, since this is a part of a collective bargaining agreement, we would have to get memorandum of understanding with the support people if we were going to go down that route. That group does pay a little higher amount for their health care than the other bargaining groups. So I'm not sure. I guess that's a topic maybe for the finance committee to take a further look at, but he is in desperate need of personnel. So we should probably look at that soon. Third thing was brought to our attention is that we're having some an unexpected water seeping that's coming at Liberty Curtain, the new Liberty Curtain building. The water seeping into the surface drainage basin, and it was only designed for surface runoff, but this is not. It's bypassing the drainage system. It's keeping the basin wet. This is a problem that we obviously were not anticipating, was unanticipated. There is going to be a meeting, and I don't know whether they've met yet or not with, I don't think Sam's shaking his head no, with Lobar, Crabtree, and ELA Engineering. They're going to review the situation, and hopefully they'll make some recommendations. We are not yet responsible for that. It's our position is that Lobar and Crabtree and ELA need to work out some kind of solution because they have not turned over. The Lobar is still, I guess, they're on names on the permit. So that's an ongoing thing that we'll keep the board apprised of. On the agenda tonight, you'll see 4 things that I'm going to ask you for approval. The Mill Hall Elementary School concrete work that we talked about. I believe at the last meeting, to replace the sidewalk along Kyler Avenue. There was an additional part that was not included in the original. It would be, I guess, a curbing area at the end, that was not included in the original bid, which would be an additional $3,650 to add this. It's still would be done by the same company. It still fits under the category, the bid. They were the lowest bidder. It still stays within that amount. So, and the cost is still falls into the remaining $100,000 that was budgeted for concrete work. So that will be on the agenda for approval tonight. Also, we're asking for approval to purchase a new Bobcat mower. It's going to replace the 20-year-old, I guess it was the Steiner that has been around and is just absolutely, they have tried to keep it running, and it's to the point now where it's just had it. It's end of life. And this one that we're recommending, it's being purchased locally. It's capable of doing the work of two of the older machines. It's mainly for mowing hillsides, snow removal, and so on. So I think we're recommending the purchase because it's something that obviously is going to be needed and will be certainly, I think, well used. The other item, we had talked about the platform chairlift. We discussed that a little bit. It would cost nearly $66,000. There is an alternative access to the ramp in the back of the school that still keeps us ADA compliant. I don't think that at this point, I don't think that that's a purchase that the committee is recommending that we make at this time. Something maybe we can look at down the road a little bit, but it's certainly cheaper than putting in an elevator or whatever else that other alternatives. The last two things, the other two things you'll see on the agenda, we get for the UGI contract for the gas, natural gas is up for renewal at the end of December. And Sam has done some homework on this and looked at other alternatives and notified UGI, which we've just normally kept up with him, but he's finding some better prices, I think. And so what we need to give is the authorization for the business manager to lock in a price as soon as she would find it advantageous to do that. So that is on tonight. And the last thing, this is good news because we thought the Mill Hall HVAC materials there in the units there were going to need to be replaced completely. However, Sam has found out that we are able to repair them relatively inexpensively. I think it's a little over almost 16,000 to do all of those units. And it's covered, the labor is going to be covered under a contract with the company that we've been working with, BSC Mechanical. And so that labor is covered and we'll be paying for the materials. So that is excellent news. It's better than replacing units, which would cost thousands of dollars. So
That's great.
We covered a lot of things, but that's it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Next up, enrollment report. Does anybody have any questions on the enrollment report? No? Okay, next up is the financial report. Any questions on the financial report? Okay, next up is treasurer report. Oh, Elizabeth?
Yes, thank you, President Roger. This was discussed during the working session of the Finance Committee meeting again. This is Bill, when you were talking about the percentages and the percentages used, we're on that section. And so if you wanted to touch on that, but what I was gonna touch on is that I requested again that we go back to the old system that had the information on last year's, how much we spent and how much came in. And then Joni explained to us that those numbers will appear after the audit is complete. And the other thing I requested again was, it used to be on our reports, but I can't find it on this report, where the health insurance payments were subdivided into two categories, one for currently enrolled employees and one for retired employees. So those were my two comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, so enrollment financial treasurer's report. Next up is the 2025 PA School Leadership Conference. Dr. Redmond, would you lead off on this?
Sure, yeah. So three of us went to the 2025 PASA PSBA School Leadership Conference. So Dr. Baldino, Mr. Elling, and myself went to the 3-day conference, actually 2 days and a little bit. And I know that I got a lot out of the some of the sessions that I went to. One of which was about how to keep a district running when you've had a cyber attack that prevents the district from using any of its computer systems.
Imagine that.
For weeks. So that was kind of an interesting one. A little bit on policy governance and how to write up administrative regulations. The one that Dr. Baldino and I went to together was about harnessing partnerships for change. And I found that one very informative as well. Some attendance incentive programs, which was a little bit of a sales pitch, but had some interesting points to it. Those were kind of the highlights for me. Gentlemen, how about for you? How was the
Dr. Baldino?
conference?
I went to an interesting session on the neuroscience of learning, which was kind of neat. They had PET scans before and after certain techniques, and you could see development, the neuronal development, which was, for a nerd like me, it was kind of interesting, you know.
Are they comparing like math, studying math versus?
No, it was techniques of teaching.
Oh,
Okay. Basically, I mean, that was, you know, they emphasize that they need to feel like they're part of the learning. They need to be active in the learning, quite different from the Pleistocene age when I went to school and you just sat there and they talked to you for an hour at a time. And something very interesting for me, I thought that's important, they need prompt feedback. So they need coaching basically, and just as important or more, if you're going to give an exam, you can't take a week to get it back to them. You got to get it corrected and you got to get it back to them promptly so that they get something out of the exercise of being examined. So if we're not doing that, that might be something you want to consider, you know. The one you talked about, you know, was interesting, and you know that several different sessions emphasized teamwork and positivity, which is kind of, I don't know whether it's intuitively or experientially, you know, evident that, you know, it just, if you're on an up mood, you do better,
Mhm.
you know. Mentioned you need it, that the kids need a observable goal to work towards to help them, you know, it helps with the learning. which is kind of interesting. I guess it blends from the little kids where all you need to do is show them something and they learn it. And when you get to be old fogies like us, there's got to be a benefit or you're never going to learn anything, if you can't perceive the benefit. And I guess it occurs at a younger age than we realized for a while. So they talked about chronic complainers, tell them to bring a solution if they're going to complain, which is a good point. Try not to allow moodiness into the process. If somebody's too moody, send them for coffee or something, get rid of them, let's get it out. There was one session on truancy, which unfortunately I missed a big deal, a great deal out of. I screwed up. I didn't look at the first 2 days, the conferences started at one time, the third time, they changed the time. I didn't notice that. So I showed up for the first 2 days, but anyway, there's some things that I forgot to bring tonight. I'll bring to you if you want. I'm not sure how, that seems like gimmicky and I'm not sure how much that is, but they did recommend a website called Attendance Works, which,
I'm
are you
with that.
familiar with it? I with my limited knowledge of the actual nitty gritty, it looked to me like something that I'm not sure how much value this has, but what do you think? Is it a worthwhile thing or?
Attendance Works in and of itself is another resource that we can bring to bear as we're sharing information about the importance of students being in school.
Yeah, I mean, it looked to me like WISE that said, get the data on why they're not there and get the data on what your interventions are doing, if it's going to improve anything. That seems pretty straightforward to me, but some of the other stuff. Probably the biggest thing is the legal seminar, the one, and there were several things in there. I mean, just be careful with your text messages back and forth to each other. They can be discovered under the right to know law if they deal with school board business. We can't censor on our websites. We cannot, if it's a site for commentary, whether we like the commentary or not, we got to put it up there. It's a First Amendment violation if we don't. School directors can only be removed for nonfeasance, not malfeasance or, because you don't like them. So basically, nonfeasance means they won't do their job. So your qualified immunity is only if you're acting in an official capacity. If we get requests for financial statements of financial interest, those things have to be provided immediately. They don't need to be attached to a FOIA request. Schools may not discipline for potentially offensive speech which occurs outside of the school environment. Employees accused of child abuse are entitled to due process prior to being placed on the registry. Contacting an employee while on leave does not constitute hostile workplace. We must provide for an opt-out for any religious objection to course material. These are all based on, by the way, all these things have been based on decisions by courts already, case law, and many of them were appellate level decisions. So probably not a good idea to screw around with them. This one was interesting. Hiding a name change request by a student hiding from the parents a name change request by a student and not providing counseling by the district may violate fundamental parental rights, allowing a case in court to move forward. if Johnny decides that he wants to be Jane and you don't tell the parents and you don't offer counseling, you can be involved in, we can be involved in the lawsuit.
Oh.
Um, secular and balanced coverage of religion does not constitute a violation of the constitutional religion clause, endorsement of religion clause. Religious students may play in the PIAA. If you have a cell phone ban, there has to be an exception made for a cell phone that's being used for glucose monitoring. And that was it.
Very good. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Okay, and with me, just give an overview of like 3 of the sessions that I went to. The first one was everyone likes to be heard, but can you listen? This focused on how important it is for board members to truly listen, ensuring students, staff, and community members feel understood, even when we don't all agree. The second session was leadership, communication, and feedback. In this, we discussed the importance of providing clear, helpful feedback that supports district goals. We discussed the importance, and then the program that they talked about was Super Eval. Now, I know this was up previously, and I didn't realize that was part of it at the time. But whenever we were discussing it, it's told that some other districts use for their superintendent evaluations. And I understand we don't currently use it, but it was helpful to learn how it improves communication and goal setting in the evaluation process. And then the final session that I went to is called E-Kellers. Now, E-Kellers demonstrated how understanding our different communication styles can help us work more effectively as a team. Overall, the conference reminded me that strong leadership starts with good communication, listening well, speaking clearly, and working together respectfully. I'm excited to see use of these ideas to support our work here in KCSD. So, all right. Next up, we have the insurance renewal.
Joni, you had some really good points during the finance committee meeting that, you had put it out to bid last year. And I mean, she had some real good points. Do you want to share them or?
So if you remember last year, we did put the whole school insurance out for bid. And I think we received 3 bids. 2 of them came in and spoke at a finance meeting, and then the board decided which vendor they would like to use. So we did go with a local vendor. They had the best package and the best price. We went with Gerhart Herr. And every year though, even though we are not taking it out for a formal bid, they actually bid it out every year themselves. They have access to hundreds of vendors, workers' comp, general liability, and they quote it every year. Just individually they do. So, keep that in mind that even if we don't formally bid, they're already doing that as well. And then it did go up, like we said, about 10%, which is actually pretty good considering we took on an entire new building. So we were pretty happy with those rates. Christy did a good job at working with Gerhart Herr, and she kind of handles all that.
Great, cool, thank you. Okay, next up is the tax revenue anticipation note. Johnny, could you describe or come up and tell us what's going on or whatever? I appreciate this.
So we all know about the over 100 days with the budget impasse. And right now, the school district is able to pay their expenses due to the real estate revenue that's coming in, that comes in July through December. That will cover us, my estimation, through January and probably through the end of January. However, as you get closer, we're in November now, and we have to be proactive if the budget doesn't pass. If that's the case, then what I did was I went out and researched what's the best thing for us to do. We could take out of a loan. We could actually cash in some of our investments. I didn't think we should do that. I think that cashing in your investment, if you make 8 or 9 or 10%, but we can get a loan or a TRAN, it's called, which is a tax and revenue anticipation note. Many of the school districts do this, and they're offered to municipalities and school districts. Then that is really the best course of action. So I talked to our local bank, and they will not charge us a fee, and it's called a drawdown. It's like a line of credit, but they call it a drawdown. And we want to be able to press the button if we have to do that. And what that will involve is pretty much it's handled through the bank, but we also do need some legal filing. And so we do have to secure some bond counseling. So I do have 2 quotes attached here, I believe. Yes, 2 quotes attached that we will have to have you approve on next Thursday. And that is for the bond counseling. One is for $12,500 and one is for $4,500. So quite a difference, same exact services, but just a good note to, we went out and actually secured some quotes for that. That is to do the filings with the DCED. Now, if we go through all of this and even we go through all of this and it's January 4th and we're getting ready to, we decide to push the button on January 10th. January 9th, we haven't signed any paperwork or anything. January 9th, the budget passes, we don't owe the fee. We only owe the fee if papers are signed, and we might not have pushed a button, but when papers get signed with your approval, then that's when we're on the hook for the fee. But
That's like if I'm looking at page 4 of 4, I'm sorry, that was going to be my question. On page 4 of 4, it says the fee proposal in the first attachment. That's what you're talking about. Okay, so that has
Yes.
nothing to do with the interest. That's just
No,
that one fee.
no, that has
Okay.
not, this is just
Yep.
the actual for the service. So,
Okay.
so on Thursday, we'll need a vote to go ahead and approve the bond council if needed. We're hoping it won't. We could pass the budget next week and we won't even have to go through any of this. But I just wanted to give everyone a heads up. I'll keep everyone up to date. We'll know, hopefully by December. It doesn't even go in past December into January.
Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Okay, so of course you won't know what the interest rate is until that very specific moment, correct? Or close, or,
Yes, I'm being quoted, and this is not, I'm being quoted like mid 3s.
okay,
We won't know though closer to the time of the actual signing of it, but that gives us a good ballpark.
okay, well, that's fair enough. And this is my only two concerns. One is obviously the motion will be worded properly, so it can only be used for emergency purposes to do X, Y, and Z, okay? I mean, that's the way I'm sort of looking at this. I don't know how the full board is gonna feel about that. And the other one is, when I look at the list of bills to be paid, I have no idea if those things that you have every right to purchase, if those are priority items or if those are nice to have items. So this is where I'm going with this, that I'm viewing this as an emergency fund only to keep the school open for the kids versus another school district. I don't know if you saw that news feed. Superintendent and the board, they're just closing the whole school. They're not taking out a loan. So, I mean, that's option number 2. So what I'm saying is that is a real big concern for me, is only used for absolutely critical critical items.
So, for your information for the rest of the board, we've already put into place a, purchasing freeze. So, we aren't buying any more supplies or materials unless they're absolutely necessary for the instruction, of students. So we're already doing what we can to halt on purchases because we really don't know how long this budget impasse is gonna last.
Right. And you are correct. The less we have to take out a loan on, and we can, stop some of the spending we have now that isn't necessary, the better off we'll be going forward. So absolutely, we've taken all of that into consideration.
And,
Go ahead.
and, help with the math, please, but this is my math understanding. If we have a CD that's bringing 8% or 6%, and this would be approximately 3%, you don't cash in something that's actually making you more, which is the 5%. So on the financial side, it costs us less. We're not losing as much money. If you could put it into layman terms so folks can
Absolutely.
understand. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes, that's absolutely right.
Okay.
We wouldn't want to cash in what's earning 8% if we can take out a loan at 3.5%. So you're absolutely right. We wouldn't want to do that. And we've weighed all those options. The nice thing about the Tran is we'll only pay interest on what we use. They may give us, X amount of dollars, but it sits there, but we'll only get interest on what we use. And hopefully what we could do, if we even have to do it, is we can keep paying it back a little at a time, even if we have to borrow it again, because every day counts with interest.
Well, that was my next question.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
go-
hold on a
oh,
second. Chris, do you have something to say? I saw you pop up.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. Joni,
Mhm.
you mentioned at the beginning of this real estate anticipation money. I know there's a bunch of municipalities that are going to have outside sources collect their own real estate taxes now. It was approved by Castanea Township this past week. So that's going to be less revenue coming in. Is this thing you're talking about now, is this a one-shot deal? Or is this something that you can hold on to in case there's another issue? Because I hate to take out more loans if we don't know where and when the money's coming from. If we don't know how long the budget's going to pass, and when it does, we don't even know what's going to be in it. And that concerns me, to take out a loan, not knowing how we're going to pay it back. And especially if we do lose out on a bunch of the revenue money next year.
So that's probably like the first set of real estate taxes that come out from the counties and the city. That does not affect us. We did not lose any of our real estate revenue at all. So that actually,
Okay.
that doesn't affect us at all. To answer your second part of the question, here's how the Tran would work. You do have to pay it back in the fiscal year you borrow it. So if we take out it in January, we would have to pay it back in June, which we would. And then what would happen is we'd have to take out another one. We'd pay it off, and then take out another one in July is what we would have to do. We'd have to figure out how to kind of make that roll. We're hoping not to have to do that. We're hoping as soon as the state releases the money, they'll release it quickly. We will get caught up quickly. But yes, if we would still owe it in June, then we're gonna have to cross that road and figure out how to pay that off just to re-borrow it again if the budget doesn't pass.
Okay.
But, again, the bank will work with us. We're hoping that doesn't come down to that.
All right. Thank you.
So,
Okay, Elizabeth.
so the 3% approximately, and you're looking at 20 million is what you want? Is that correct?
Somewhere between 20 and 25 million is what we would have to borrow.
Calculator, please. 3% times 20 million.
60,000.
60,000? So now I don't know if not cashing out that CD isn't gonna then balance out the 60,000 versus how much we'd make in X amount months. I don't, that would be an interesting figure to look at.
So we wouldn't want to put that back in a CD because that makes that $3 million liquid that we might need to use. And right now, the difference between the CD and the money market is 0.1, 0.15. There's really not a whole lot of difference between the CD and the money market right now. The money market is much more liquid than the CD.
Mhm.
Now, if December rolls around, because December 2nd, I think, is when the CDs, if the budget rolls around, then we will absolutely reinvest that CD again.
Anybody else?
Just have a-
Go ahead,
Tony,
Jeff.
what was the earliest date we would have to draw from this? Do you have a rough idea?
I would say, at the latest, good scenario would be the end of January. The worst scenario might be mid-January. I think we will get.
So we're good till then.
I'm sorry?
We're good till that,
Yes,
at that point.
Yes, I believe. And we, like I said, we've curbed all spending
Right.
on all not necessary spending. That will help. We'll have funds become liquid. And, I really think we will make it through to the end of January. I mean, we have, 3 months that we would hope that they would pass the budget by then,
Okay.
And like I said, we'll wait till last possible moment to get it signed, get it approved, because if we don't have to pay even the bond council fee, that would, that's an advantage as well.
Right, sure.
If I could, if you don't mind, just
Go
to
ahead.
point out that Keystone Central School District is not the only school district in this particular pickle. I just want to make it super clear that almost every school district
Mhm.
that is dependent on state funds for their revenue to make schools work is in the same problem that we have. In fact, we're in as good a shape as we are because a little less than half of our revenue comes from state funding. A little less than half of our revenue comes from local funding and the rest is federal. So we can get almost
Halfway
through half of the year
Mhm.
based on our local revenues. There are other school districts where their 75-80% of their funds come from the state. They are already taking out loans.
Yeah, they're crippled. I
Right.
mean, a lot of school districts
And
right
so
now are.
these are the districts are saying, we can't operate, we're gonna shut down because most of their revenue is state revenue and not local revenue. So again, I just want to point out, this isn't a Keystone problem, this is a statewide problem that the state isn't paying its bills. And one of their primary duties is to fund schools and they're not doing it right now.
Okay. Go ahead.
Like point out, make sure, as I understand it, I think I'm correct, right? Even if we borrow $20 million, technically, it's in the account. If by some miracle they pass the budget and we've only spent $1 million or $2 million, we're only paying interest on that $1 or $2 million, correct? So it's not automatically $60,000 that we're gonna owe.
It was my mistake,
Yeah, no.
600, I was off by a decimal, 600,000.
600,000 or
On
even,
20 million, it's.
yeah. I thought it sounded cheap.
I didn't
Yeah.
see that, so I was like, oh,
Just,
okay.
Yeah, that was my mistake.
Yeah, that's okay.
Quick
It
mental math didn't
happens.
work for me.
So that's the one thing. The others, I just want to know. Now, you quoted the two fees, Joni, 12.5 and 4,500. We only need one of them, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
And is there any difference between the two of them?
there is not.
So why would we want to spend 12.5?
What my point was to show you.
Okay.
that we went out and looked
Yeah.
for.
I mean, I know I'm
different-
not good at numbers,
No,
but.
no,
you know,
it was
all right.
just,
That's
to
why I'm
show
a
you that
biologist.
we did our
all
due
right?
diligence, went out and checked several bond councils.
Yeah.
And I did have one other one, but it came in at 45 as well.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was 46 or something, but I wanted to show you there is these differences.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you. And again, that's a last minute expense, right? If the ink's not dry on the paper when they pass the budget, we don't have to do that,
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
All right. So, next, go ahead, Elizabeth.
It just sounds like, maybe next meeting, it sounds like if the interest is 60,000, I'm sorry, keep that, $600,000 on 20 million.
That's only if we borrow all of it.
No, I understand. So if we only spend 10 million, it's 300,000. And if we only spend 50, okay, but anyways, I don't know, I'm, without having real figures in front of me, and you did a great job, by the way, that's not the point. I don't know, cashing out something may actually be a better hybrid, cash out some and maybe take out a smaller loan or something, but
Roger.
$600,000 is.
Go ahead, Bill.
You finished those? I'm
Yes.
sorry, I didn't want to
Wait, no,
interrupt.
no,
I
no,
just,
you're good.
Joan, I want to just make sure I understand that but arbitrarily, we're pulling it out of the sky. Let's say it's 3.5. You said mid threes. That's an annual interest rate? All right, so we would have to keep the money out for a year to owe that 3.5%, correct? So if we're paying it back, okay, so that's a worst case
That's
scenario.
right,
If
worst case
we
scenario.
use all $20 million and and actually, we're not gonna be able to keep it for a year under the law, correct? Because anything we borrow now, we have to pay back by June. So we're dealing with at least, at most, half of that.
Yeah,
So not that it's cheap, but
Right.
it's less. And, if we keep it for a month, it's,
Okay.
it's 1/12 of that six,
It's a lot.
5,000.
so.
Yeah.
All right, so, now, let's move to the real estate refund. Okay, this is the real estate refund. This is property that's owned by 1900 Red Barn Partnership LLC. It was reassessed, resulting in a real estate tax refund. Okay, so they paid too much, so we need to return that money to them.
Mhm.
Anybody have any questions on that?
I'm glad they-
All right, let's see. Next up is the repository bids. Okay, any questions on this?
Yeah, Roger.
Go ahead, Chris.
There's multiple ones there. And like Butch used to say, I kind of agree with what Butch actually did were those properties being sold for $55 each? Do we know how much they originally were? Because being sold at $55, we're taking a hit on it.
$550. And what has been assured to me from multiple folks is that the sale price is not the same thing as a tax assessed price.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Elizabeth?
that actually is a really good point, Dr. Redmond. In the future, if we also have the assessed amount that's being taxed in this report, I think that would really help with the understanding of it. It's just
Okay.
a county number.
So again, this is something that is negotiated by the county.
Sure.
And if the board were to disapprove that, we're asking our solicitor to try to renegotiate a negotiated deal.
No, I'm not asking that. I'm just saying something to consider in the future. If the assessed value is also in the same report, these miscommunications from this document might be alleviated because it's been a conversation ever since I've been a board member. But that's just an idea. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Berkheimer, LST, and BPT agreements. Do we have any questions or comments on this? Yes, Elizabeth.
Thank you, President Roger. Same question I ask every time. Our solicitor reviewed all of these, correct?
Yes.
That's all we need to hear. Thank you.
Okay. Next up, adopt a resolution to end the state budget impasse. Does anybody have any questions on that? I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Um,
And if we can do that, pass this, then maybe we can avoid having to do these loans that we're just talking about. So All right.
Mr. President?
Yes, Elizabeth.
How is this, did you send it then back to PSBA and they put it in a bulk presentation to our representatives? I mean, it's a good message, don't get me wrong, good message, but how is this going to be effective?
So
for
we would
us?
send that to our local legislators and to PSBA both.
Okay. All right.
Okay, next up.
Roger,
Oh.
please.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just,
Sorry.
no, that's, and this is based on something I was told by legislators a long time ago, but, burying them in paperwork is always a good idea and keeping their phone ringing and whatever. In addition to this, perhaps a, individual letter from either the board president or the superintendent to the legislators might be a good idea also if it's, not going to add a lot of work.
Okay.
Just something, as the guy that told us, he says, if you really want to get their attention, write it out on a yellow piece of paper with pencil and then type it and then send it by email and the whole things, and just,
Well, I encourage everyone in our community who's concerned about not having a state budget passed to contact their legislator and let
Yes.
them know that they would like to see some movement.
yes.
Mayor, Mr. President?
Yes, Elizabeth.
I really like where Bill's going. Is this something administration might want to consider? It's just putting a link on our webpage and our Facebook page and have a preset letter? And it can just,
No, I don't think that it
We
would be
can't?
good for the school district to advocate a political position on anything.
I agree.
well.
I agree too.
A letter, okay, I understand what you're saying. Yep, that's a
All
good way
right.
to look at it.
Okay. Next up, Liberty Curtin Elementary concrete sidewalks. Questions? Go ahead.
Yeah. Sam, is this sort of a generic thing or is this, they've done bad work or what is it? I mean, it's surprising to me that in a place that gets the snow and ice that we do, that they're telling us not to put anything on there to take the ice off.
So any company that pours new concrete is gonna tell you that you should not use a de-icer or salt on the sidewalk. Cause it may degrade, faster than normal. This is their disclaimer that if we use salt, or if the bus that drove down Route 150 pulls in with salt on it and it splashes on the sidewalk and they can prove that the damage that's done was caused in any way by a de-icer, that they are not liable to come back and replace our sidewalks for free. So it was the letter we got. The thought was that we pass it on so everybody sees it. And if 10 years from now, we have to replace some sidewalks at Liberty Curtin, it may be because a de-icer caused a defect in the surface of the concrete.
But as I think you pointed out, when you and I were talking about this, Sam, we use de-icers on all of our concrete sidewalks in all of our buildings. So this is them just covering themselves against liability.
Yeah, well, my next question was going to be, is this something we're just going to ignore?
Well, I don't know that we can completely ignore it, but we also have
Yeah.
to make sure that our sidewalks are safe for.
Well, that's
students and
the
staff
point,
to walk
I
over.
mean.
We
a couple
will
of
do our
broken legs
best
is gonna
to,
Be more expensive than replacing the sidewalks.
yes, we will do our best to, keep the sidewalks clear,
Yeah,
whatever means necessary.
I understand.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. I understand why they did this disclaimer, but whenever we have these contracts for concrete or what have you, the fact that they did this to the school district after the fact, I'm gonna remember that. That's all I can say.
Okay. Moving on.
Drew,
Yes, Chris, go ahead.
Elizabeth kind of jumped in there where I thought I was gonna go.
Oh,
Why wasn't this part of the original negotiation in the contract? I'm just curious if somebody dropped the ball on or what. But I'm concerned with the fact that they don't even want Sam to use like a small tractor or something on it. that makes me question, did we use really cheap concrete? Or are they gonna have to be out there and hand shovel all the walks?
No,
Uh,
that, we had, the normal inspections and
Yeah.
the concrete load, limits were set by the engineers and we had all that tested throughout. This is, again, just a contractor doing what they can to not have to come back for a warranty repair.
Okay. And the other thing I had to ask, since it was on that subject, have we done anything with making the ADA access at Liberty Curtain any better with the concrete? We talked about it before. Has anything been done yet?
We won't be able to do anything until after all the permits and everything are turned over to us. So that'll have to be an after the fact thing so that we don't have to pay, change order prices to make that change.
Okay.
Do we know when that might be?
Not
Next
off the top of my
year?
head. Yeah, we're getting into the cold season. We're not gonna get it done before the spring.
Okay, so spring.
And it's also, I can't guarantee, it's an unanticipated, unbudgeted expense. So we're pretty cautious about those at the moment.
Okay, because we did talk about possible funding.
Well, only one access to get off the concrete up there and away from the building is just sad. Especially that far away from the building.
Wasn't planned.
So, Chris, I walked the sidewalk, went Tuesday. I was up there Tuesday. I walked, the whole perimeter of the building with the principal. And, we did have the discussion about the sidewalk and about the ADA access and the situation that came up, during the ribbon cutting ceremony. So folks are aware of it. We are talking about it, but like Dr. Redmond said, until the silt fence and everything that the contractor has involved with the permitting, until all of that stuff is removed, the school district is not going to go in and do any more work where we're bound by change orders.
Okay.
All right. Does anybody have any questions on the minutes?
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead, Chris.
On the policy meeting minutes. Number 3. At the bottom of that, we had a discussion on policy 915 relations with PTO booster organizations.
Okay.
We decided to organize a special evening meeting in late October with target dates of October 23rd, 24th, 27th, or 30th with building principals, PTO, PTA leaders, and booster club presidents to share current practices. For some unknown reason, that didn't get started on working on until the 27th of October. I asked about, have we done anything with that yet? And it didn't get started talking to about the next day. Dr. Redmond was out of town and nobody, I guess, brought him up to speed on it. But I got my cage rattled by several people from PTOs about a letter that was sent to them with 3 different options, and one of them was show up at the policy meeting we're going to have next week. And I got told multiple parents said, we work during the week, we can't make it. They want an evening meeting. So this is on the policy for next week on the policy committee. And we're going to need to discuss it, and we're going to have to pull that policy and hold it until we can have a special meeting for the PTO parents. The reason we were going to do that was so that we could get the PTO folks the booster clubs and everybody on the same page with new administration request, and so that we could work that policy out to make it feasible for everybody. But we got to get it worked out. That it just didn't happen. So
So for
we're gonna
clarification,
head forward on that next week.
yeah, just for clarification, I did send that email out asking for what the parents' preference was, to see if we could get a consensus on one of the three. And I put that out there, the coming to the meeting as a possibility. I wasn't asking anyone to show up at the meeting. I was trying to find out which one was gonna work best. So I
Right.
apologize if that was misinterpreted, or came across wrong to the PTO leadership.
Yeah, they want to have a meeting from the calls I've been getting in the evening. So when we have our meeting next week, we're gonna have to rediscuss that and come up with a special date, since those dates that are on the minutes now were not available to make happen. That's it.
Okay, Elizabeth?
Oh. Yes, item H4, Facilities Committee meeting. The secretary does an excellent job, and she allows us to make comments about the draft minutes. So I did send her my draft edits, and she did a very good job, except there are two things in here that I just want to make sure. I'm not asking that the minutes be changed. It's not that critical, but it is important to me that on the minutes, on page 1, item number 3, yes, I did state, it's fine, about the deed restriction, the water rights, that was discussed before the building was ever built. But I never said that Mr. Hoy should investigate. I never gave a directive. Okay? And then under item C1, I mentioned this during the Facilities Committee meeting. It's come up quite often in the past, irregularly, that at some point the district may want to start the transition discussions from diesel equipment to gasoline. And that was brought up when Rob Pasella was here, to potentially save us money. And then maybe someday we'll get rid of the diesel tank. So that wasn't put in the minutes, but I felt that that was important. And be that as it may, it would have been nice to see an estimate comparing gas versus diesel, and whether or not you folks, it's easier to maintain diesel, maybe it's lower cost to maintain it, I don't know. But I just feel that was an important issue. Thank you.
All right. Next up, bills for payment. Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to email Joni a list. Because I have quite a few items I'd like some clarification on.
Okay.
But one of the biggest ones that I saw is on page 9. There's 2 entries. And the first one is $4,951.29 for a hotel room. And then $8,541 for a registration for the I think it's a meeting with over gifted children.
Yeah, so that was the bill for the whole team.
How many people are going to that?
I don't remember how many went off the top of my head.
Okay, because I'm real curious how many that was. Because that seemed quite expensive. And then on page 11, there's one where we're spending $10,684.50. I guess it's for for doing parking lot lines, but it doesn't say where at. Where was that spent at or done?
That's usually done this summer.
Yeah, that was done before school started and it was at several schools throughout the district.
Okay. And this would be the last one. The rest of them I'll go over with Joni. But on page 12, there's multiple entries on source for teacher substitutes. And the first couple that go from 920 to 927 add up for a total of 31,769.08 for 1 week. And the second one was from 10/4 to 10/25. Multiple entries added up to 63,859.83. We spent in that amount of time almost $100,000 on substitutes. Now, when we bring them in, we're still paying for the people that are missing, correct?
Yeah, if they have sick leave, then, yeah,
Okay. That just seemed real excessive, so I wanted to know about that. And Joni, I'm gonna ask that you get us a cost of what there seems to be a lot of money coming out of the general fund yet for Liberty Curtain. And I'd like to know where we are money-wise between the bond is depleted, but how much into that other money that was put aside are we? I'd like to know where we're at because there's quite a few entries there for the construction companies and that are still ongoing up there. So I'd just like to know where we're at on a financial basis.
So if you look, there's an attachment right beside the list of bills that is the general fund Liberty Curtain expense.
Right?
So to date, we are at 1.414.
Okay. We're at 1.414.
Yeah, 1,414,000.
Okay. How much did we have set aside for that?
The 1.7 was committed.
The 1 point what?
7.
Okay, so we still have 300,000 to spend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just curious. That was it.
All right. Library weeding report. Anybody have any questions on that?
Just through these or we replacing these books we're getting rid of to any degree?
It's a combination, as we've talked about before. It's kind of a combination of the books that get checked out a lot and are worn out. We replace those, and the books that never get checked out.
That I understand. It just seems like we're getting rid of a lot of books. I'm hoping we're bringing more books
Yes.
in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bills for payment, you can see there's lots of books
All right.
that are mixed in there as well.
Okay, next up is the annual renewal of Gopher subscription. This is the software that allows for the management of the Chromebooks. Anybody have any questions on this? Okay. The agreement for Windecker Enterprises Incorporated. Okay. Anybody have any questions on this?
I do, actually. George.
Elizabeth?
I don't know how to interpret this line. I mean, is this too good of news to additional transportation services for the 25-26 school year? There is no additional cost to the district to use this contractor. I don't understand.
So this would be a service if Susquehanna is not able to provide service, then this is a contract that we can use instead.
Okay, so it's the same price per student, basically, is what.
It's based off our reimbursable.
Reversible. Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you for putting the contract on there.
Okay. All right, next up, Mill Hall Elementary concrete work. Sam already discussed about this. Any questions on that?
I have a question on it, Roger.
Go ahead, Chris.
When we originally did this, I had brought up about the bidding process and all of that. Did we have to rebid this for this extra work? Or is it just, was this extra work included in the original bidding process? And if not, do we have to rebid it? I mean, it's under the 18,500, but the whole project is not. That's why I'm wondering, because we don't know what the other bids were.
Yeah,
is
so I can
this-
tell you, we received five bids in the public bidding process, and they all ranged from $24,000 to $40,000. Of those five contractors, there was one company that showed up during the pre-bid. And we walked through the project, and during that, we discovered to add the 2 additional ADA ramps at the corner of Kyler Avenue, it would require a new curb to be placed in between the 2 ramps and about 25 additional feet of concrete. So that was put into the bidding process. The other 4 companies that did not show up to the pre-bid weren't aware of it. So afterwards, when I received the bids and I came to the lowest bidder, I said, look, this work was discovered during the pre-bid conference, which only one contractor showed up. And before we proceed with the work, I needed to know if there was additional cost to cover that 25 feet of concrete and the curb. So they provided us a quote, which was $3,650. And I wanted to make sure that the board was aware and everybody approved this additional cost, but it does not require us to go through another public bid to get this work done, as long as we make it aware to the contractors and they are afforded the opportunity to provide us a quote for the additional work.
Okay. Well, I guess it is what it is.
Okay. Bobcat mower with snow removal capabilities. This was discussed earlier. Any questions on this?
Yes.
Chris?
If we're doing a purchasing freeze, is this not part of that? Number one. And number two, if we're changing brands altogether, we're going from the Ventrac that we already have to a Bobcat. Number one, did we get any quotes from Daughter Equipment? And if we change brands on the equipment, does that mean we have to buy all new accessories also? Or, because I doubt that the old Ventrac accessories will fit on a Bobcat. So does that mean down the road here, we're gonna have to buy all new accessories also?
So first thing, Daughter Equipment does not sell a piece of equipment that is capable of doing the same things that the Ventrac or the Bobcat is. Bobcat, there used to be Steiner and Ventrac were competing partners, or, competing companies. It was similar equipment. Bobcat bought Steiner out. So Bobcat now owns that version of equipment. I spoke with the Bobcat dealers. They assured us that the Bobcat will fit, the Ventrac accessories will fit on the Bobcat. And as far as the money, we did budget for this in our 25-26 expense budget. We put $30,000 in there. And then we sold through Municipid, we've made an additional $14,437. And in scrap sales with metal and recyclables, we've made another $11,505. So total funds available for us to purchase new equipment is almost $56,000. This is well within that budget. This piece of equipment not only mows side hills and will groom fields, it will do snow removal around the district. So unfortunately, the piece of equipment that we're replacing had a complete engine failure. They do not make that model anymore. And to get it overhauled was just not worth the cost of buying a new one.
Okay, thanks, Sam. I was real curious about the accessories, so we didn't have to go buy a whole bunch more, but if that works, that works. Thank you.
Elizabeth?
Thank you. I'll still like to be on record that I would like to see the comparison between the gas and the diesel.
Okay, thank you. All right, next up, gas and
Sam wanted
electric
to say
provider.
something.
Can I answer
Oh, go
this
ahead,
quick?
Sam.
So off-road diesel is much cheaper than on-road diesel. We have a diesel tank that we fill for our equipment. Every single piece of equipment that we use for mowing grass, tractors, snow removal is diesel. We have one gas piece of equipment, and that mows the courtyard at Central Mountain Middle School. So for us to move to gas now doesn't make much sense when everything else is diesel. I don't know what happened in the past, but this is where we're at. It just makes more sense to stay with diesel, which, you know, as history is in mechanics, a diesel engine will last much longer than a gasoline.
Yeah, diesel's the only way to go.
Amen. So,
No, I'm good.
okay, all right, good. All right, next up is the gas and electric provider contract renewal. Does anybody have any questions on this? Elizabeth?
Yeah, there's just one empty cell on Liberty Curtain that just wanted to bring it to your attention. It could maybe get filled before the next meeting. It's it's not a huge thing. G6, not a big deal.
So I can comment.
Or I'm sorry, it's F.
So the reasoning is Liberty Curtain is our only West Penn Power account and everything else is PP&L. And the old Liberty Curtain account was shut down when we switched to the new building.
Sure.
So we have a new account and there wasn't enough history for them to provide data right now on pricing.
Well, we have the price from the old contract.
That is correct.
Well, that's all. That's all. That's it. The old price, what we paid, what we used to pay.
It's not comparable.
It's not comparable because
It
it's
is
a
new
whole
building.
different building now. That whole thing, that whole contract was closed out, so now they're looking at doing another one.
Oh, no, I understand. You're absolutely correct. But what I'm saying, when we talked about this in finance or facilities committee, I'm sorry, is that I recommended that they consider putting how much the current cost in the contract is versus what the future contract is, so we could see a difference in,
Okay,
The
can I ask
cost.
you this, Elizabeth?
yes.
You recommended this?
I didn't recommend
Did
it,
it-
ask.
You asked, okay. Did the committee move forward with that?
We didn't have, wait, that was, it wasn't facilities, wasn't it? Not finance, yeah.
So,
So let me try and explain. So the old building was like 31,000 square feet. It was under an old account number. We had the history, and that kilowatt per hour price was based off of a 31,000 square foot building and what their usage was. The new building is 49,000 square feet, uses, you know, a different amount of electricity. So we don't have that new pricing yet because there's not enough history involved.
So what you're saying is the old contract is based on square footage.
It's based on kilowatt per hour usage.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
And I'm saying we don't have enough months of history right now to provide that number. They're working on it. We're trying to get it. But we do not have an average cost of what it's going to be at Liberty Curtain per month for electricity.
So if your curiosity
Well,
is about a
well-
comparison between old Liberty Curtain and new Liberty
Just the
Curtain.
kilowatt
that-
price.
it's apples to
If those-
oranges.
If those two things, if what you're interested is looking at the comparison between those two, great. That's not what this particular line item is for. This one is just for the new power contracts.
New rate.
Okay, obviously I'm miscommunicating and I'm sorry and I apologize. Basically, this is what I mentioned during the meeting, is take the price per kilowatt hour that we're currently spending versus the price per kilowatt hour that the new contract is, so we can see how expenses have gone up. Not how much we're actually using. It's the price comparison kilowatt hour 2024-25 and the anticipated new contract
Okay,
kilowatt.
Elizabeth, you're comparing apples to oranges
Okay,
at this point.
Okay.
All right, because you can't compare the old school to the new school.
I'm just saying that I have not received the future contract. I haven't received that cost per kilowatt hour yet.
Okay, well then you can't.
That's what I'm saying is we haven't received it yet. They're actively working on it, both UGI, JMI consultants and our other consultant group. They're all working to get us that figure. And I'm providing them the last couple of months of data, our bills. But they haven't computed that for us yet. They're working on it and they will have it once we're ready to pull the trigger. But they did not have it when I put the spreadsheet together
Oh, well,
last week.
sorry, Sam, I misunderstood. So when you do have the figure, you can just put this back on the agenda or however you want to do the agenda. Okay,
All right.
understood.
Moving on, Mill Hall Elementary HVAC repairs. This was talked about by Jeff earlier in the meeting. Anybody have any questions on this? Okay. Personnel, any questions on the personnel?
I do.
Go ahead, Chris.
I disagree. Dr. Redden and I were having quite a conversation earlier about this. I disagree with taking people's names off and putting employee numbers there. I got told, well, it's for medical reasons. Well, I'm going to read you what I wrote to him real quick. To give my 2 cents here, and as someone with years of HR experience, the term medical leave has never been used as far as I know. The term leave of absence or sabbatical is used so there's no HIPAA violation by doing it that way. If that were a true reason, all names would need to be erased from the personnel section. There's absolutely no reason for board members or anyone to not know the names or what is going on with the employees. It should remain as it always been. We're not breaking any laws or anybody by doing that. If this were a fact for HIPAA, all employee members' identity, all names could never be anywhere used on a website, awards, promotion, job changes, anything, retirements, terminations, that could all be considered HIPAA. Almost everything on the entire personnel would be against HIPAA if that's what we're following. The acronym HIPAA stands for Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996. And that led to the development of standards for the privacy of protected health information. Few articles discussing what does HIPAA stand for explain how a bill with the objective of reforming the health insurance industry evolved into an act of legislation that now controls how healthcare data is safeguarded. I don't believe that just putting employee numbers up there is a good thing to be doing. That's just my opinion. I don't understand it because if somebody is taking a leave of absence or a sabbatical, that doesn't always mean it's medical. We've never seen it that way. And I think it's just a way to hide more things.
Okay, thank you for your opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, staffing requirements.
President Roger?
Elizabeth?
I absolutely don't want to ever see a report where it says employee number unless our solicitor says we absolutely have to do it or we're going to have a lawsuit. I do not support this, and I don't know whose idea this is, But as far as I'm concerned, if you want to do it this month, we'll see what the board says next month. But no, put the names back on. That's what I say. Is there anyone here that disagrees with that, board members?
Yes, I do.
Okay, we have one that disagrees. Do you disagree, Dr. Bill?
I think that getting
Yeah,
illegal.
yeah,
Yeah.
that, we're not, yeah. We're done discussing that. Okay, next up, staffing requirements, questions.
Yes.
Go ahead.
If you read through that, we're talking about changing staffing for different reasons. Why are we constantly advertising for more staff? I saw more advertisements for hiring and everything else this week on the Keystone Central website than anything. I would ask, and I've asked it 3 or 4 times this year, right now we need to do a hiring freeze.
So I appreciate that, Chris, and if all staff were able to do all things and we could move staff from one position to the other, I think a hiring freeze would make sense. But because we can't, they're in different bargaining groups, they have different qualifications, they have different certifications. There are times when we need to replace an employee to maintain the continuity of services. The idea of this looking at our staffing in comparison to how much the students have gone down will allow us to do a deep dive into what's critically necessary for us to run the schools now that we have fewer students than we did 5 years ago. So the staff advertisements that you see online are those that we need to replace to remain the services, to continue the services that we're obligated for this year.
Okay.
Are you gonna restate everything that was already just said? I'm just curious. Go
That's
ahead.
very dissenting,
Go ahead.
Roger.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I already let the secretary know, she's on it. On page 4 of 5, the exhibit link doesn't work when you're logged in, so I still can't see it. It's not a big
Of
deal.
what?
Page 4 of 5,
Of what?
under information advanced degrees, when you go to.
Oh, you're
click-
still on personnel. I'm sorry, we had moved ahead to staffing
Oh, I'm
requirements.
sorry. Okay. Well, you know about it. All right.
Okay, next up, student activities, Q1 report. This is something that comes out every quarter. Is there any questions on this? Okay, next up is athletics and student activities personnel. Any questions on this? None? Okay, I'll accept an
Motion to
motion.
adjourn.
Adjourned.